The 2026 Monster Jam season is rapidly approaching, and I thought it was time to once again go over what I want for a new Monster Jam season, this time for the 2026 season. Kicking things off is adding new stakes to the Points Championship. As usually with Monster Jam, the only way to get to the World Finals is to win the championship itself during the point season leading into the event. Meanwhile, everyone else is randomly chosen either based off a sponsorship or for some of the things that they have done. Meanwhile, it leaves out a lot of drivers that have been really busting their butt throughout the entire season. For instance, on the Central Tour, Matt Cody placed second right behind John Zimmer Jr. in terminal velocity. Meanwhile, he ended up making it to the LCQ. Meanwhile, other drivers were making it in, like Jamie Sullivan. A couple of other tours show, including the East Tour, showing that Kristen Anderson got in. Meanwhile, she was, I think, 4th or 5th, not quite sure, but that I want to fix. What I would do is for the Stadium Tours, the top 5 makes it to the World Finals. Then for the Arena Tours, the top 4. That leaves one more spot for spot 23, and that will be to win the International Series. However, if you win 2 tours like how Blake Ranger did, second place would get the bid in the International Series. Then the LCQ will be any driver that did not qualify, they can make it in. It'll be all up to them if they want to make the bracket. Doesn't have to be 12 trucks, it could be pretty huge, honestly. But what about the drivers who won the Points Championships? Well, to make sure that this stays strong, they get an extra cash bonus with a paycheck, but they could also go for a Dash for Cash racing bracket where all champions from their tours, all 6, compete in a special Dash for Cash competition, and that would take place during the qualifying night so it doesn't interfere with their championships. And that's what I would do for this first one. The second one, get larger lineups for the stadiums. Either 14 or 16 would be a good number to stop at, as the 12 truck lineups has been getting a little bit repetitive, so I think it's best that we add some extra drivers since we've had that in the past, and I think it would add more competition, especially if you're attending a Monster Jam event. You get more trucks, more showtime, and it becomes more must-see as a result. Next thing I want to do is change the skills competition to a best trick competition. The skills challenge has been going on for quite some time, and obviously it's starting to overstay its welcome in a way. As although there's some entertaining parts when it comes to that competition, there's so much more that could be shown during that moment. So why not change it to a best trick competition, where any driver will still have the 2 hits like the skills competition, but now they get to do whatever they want for those 2 hits and then be judged on it. I think this would be a really, really cool concept, and this could add more moments, whether it's an arena or in a stadium. This will make more highlights, and also hopefully eradicate the repetitiveness of just everyone doing a 2-wheel move on the front 2 tires, because it kind of gets tiring after a bit. The next thing is to change up the tracks. We'll start off with the Arena Pod. Now with the Arena Pod, there's some great things about it, like the Apex backflip ramp, and several parts of it, like the side parts of the track. And you can really do a lot in an arena with that one pod alone, but I think it's time to do a nice little refresh. Maybe make one of the ramps larger so you could get some bigger air off it. Maybe add a new tricky double section to the Arena Pod. Something to refresh it after having the same concept for over 10 years. Then for stadiums, to keep the uniformness but also add variety, each stadium tour will have 3 different tracks that they will alternate with one event being event A, B, and C. They will have 3 different tracks to choose from. For an example, let's go with Stadium Series East. The first track that they will tackle will be a paperclip race. Then they will tackle a Chicago-style track. Then, the third week, they'll have a St. Louis-style track, and then they'll switch back to paperclip and go in that order. It will add variety, and for the people watching the streams, it'll also become a little bit more refreshing, because then you're not just watching the same track for 5-6 months straight. And if they could also change up some freestyle things if they want to. Like St. Louis and Chicago style has plenty of room. Paperclip, you could probably keep it the same since you really don't have a lot of room to change. But when it comes to St. Louis and Chicago style for the E-Series, it'd be nice to change maybe 1 or 2 ramps at an event, just so then each time they bring it back, it's a standout compared to the other ones that they've had, so you can tell which event it was from without looking at the stadium, but also from the moments that have happened with that different ramp. The final reason is something that I'm really hoping for, and that is to change the feel a little bit. Obviously, within the last few years, Monster Jam has started to double down on the kid feel of the show. Having some things for the crowd, like some of the truck and pal races, or some of the crowd involvement. Like, I wouldn't mind if it was just showing off maybe a toy and giving it to a kid, because you'd have that kid moment of the show. But at this point, a lot of it is pretty much only the kids. Well, sometimes they will have the adults do karaoke, but other than that, it's mostly just kids. Combine that with some of the things that they've been uploading on social media, I feel like Monster Jam is kind of lacking what they had before. For instance, the 2000s of Monster Jam actually had some pretty good stuff. For instance, the documentaries that they would have for some of the drivers or teams. They would have the second version of Inside Monster Jam, which also is pretty much the same thing as that 2005 On Tour DVD, where they went into the behind the scenes things and showcased some drama, but also showcased triumph and all these different things in the events, and it all felt cool in a way. I'm saying this is because Monster Jam has so much potential to grow more than they've already have, and make more money than they already have. Because obviously, appealing to one demographic will only get you so far, and you won't be able to grow as much. That's why appealing to everyone will make your sport grow even higher, and your revenue will really show as a result. Have things for the kids, but also make sure to have everyone else in mind too, so you don't go further to either the kids or the adults. You have that perfect medium, and then everyone will be satisfied, and everyone will not feel left out. At least that's my take, but hopefully they at least do something like that for the new year. Now, this is the point where I would end off the video and ask what you wanted to say in the comments, but I actually asked people in my TF Motorsports Discord server, and I actually got a couple of answers, and we're going to read them off here right now. Toxicano6 put, add another stadium tour of 12 trucks, as competitive and great as the current 24 stadium drivers are. We need more variety. Get drivers like Blake, Tony, Brianna, Cody, the Zimmers, and perhaps more Team Throttle, Telechkas, and perhaps even the Robins on tour. I'd also want to bring Brandon Arthur back to the US tours, and Charlie Pauken as well. Garrett Hansen put, instead of having so many tours, just have one stadium tour, one arena tour, and one international tour. Lineups can change weekly or bi-weekly to make things fresh. During skills in whichever tour that driver is in is optional. It's not for points, it's just to give the drivers something to do while waiting for freestyle. Or you can just take the skills out entirely. The dumpster rule should be changed. Instead of just, oh, you hit the dumpster, you're done. It should be based on how they hit it. Having a dedicated backflip ramp, wall, etc. is getting old. Make the drivers get creative and have them find a way to backflip wherever else on the track. Let some international drivers be in the US Tour. Allow random indies to compete in either stadiums or arenas. Change up the track week to week. I get it, they want consistency and whatnot, but having a new track week to week keeps the drivers on their toes. Bring back qualifying and have it on practice day and have it streamed live. Easy views. Old School Fan would put, I say start giving us new arena tracks because they have been pretty much the same since 2015, and make the point series actually matter if you're in the top 6 or your tour going to the World Finals. Enough of this being a popularity contest, and also start putting the multiple Gradigger, Ultra Loco, and Megalodon in different trucks. Then DEF would also add another stadium tour for all the arena drivers who need to be moved up and keep one arena tour. And that's what some of the people in the Discord server had to say, but now let's pass it on to you. What would you want for the 2026 Monster Jam season? And while you're at it, let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover for the new year, and I'll see you guys next time here on TF Motorsports.